Welcome to this video recording. Today I am going to talk about my lesson plan for speaking. This is the format from the PPP method, the presentation, practice, and production, and this is the one that I'm going to use today. So let me show you a little bit about this. So the first thing that we need to consider when we are just planning a lesson plan, it is the linguistic objectives, right? In this case, I have four objectives, and the number one it is the book objective, discuss plans, and then we have the number two that it says use a variety of vocabulary to express plans for the future and produce sentences using be going to talk about the future events and write complete sentences using the be going to grammar structure. So as you can see, these are very achievable objectives because it is very focused on one topic, the be going to grammar. So the first thing we have in here, I mean, the first procedure, it is the warm up. This is the hook to catch the student's attention. So in this case, we are going to play an activity that it is about the hot potato, right? The hot potato. Almost everybody knows this activity. It's really funny and interactive. So you can play the hot potato with some papers, I mean, with a bowl, with a real bowl, or you can play the hot potato with markers. I mean, you can even use two markers, one for this side and one for this side. So they are just passing the marker while you play some music or you make a sound like this. You start making sounds like that. So, and when the sounds or the music stops, the student with the ball has to respond to questions or do a dynamic or do something, right, about the class. In this case, I am going to ask the student a question related to his plans. For example, what are your plans for the weekend? Or what do you plan to do on Friday? What are you planning to do tomorrow? Or what are your plans for Tuesday, for example? And they can talk about that, right? So they can give me examples, simple examples like this: visit my grandmother, play soccer with my friends, hang out with friends, or watch TV, right? So they have a lot of different ideas, but they are not using the be going to. So then we pass to the presentation stage. In the presentation stage, the first thing that I'm going to do it is um, use the vocabulary and phrases the students have provided to me and the vocabulary that the book has already has. So um, and then we have show students the correct pronunciation of the vocabulary be going to, and besides that, show students the informal way of saying going to, gonna, right? So they're going to learn that going to and gonna. So at the same time, um, I am going to explain as students that be going to grammar topic, but first I need to present them. I mean, how to use the the verb be, right? To remember the verb be because some students forget, and then give some examples and give some explanations about how to create affirmative, negative, and interrogative sentences, and obtain some examples from the students. And based on my expectations from this class, let me show you this. I got a presentation here about this. So here is the class. Here's the class. So as you can see, well, let me see. All right, there it is. So as you can see, there it is. The vocabulary, I mean, different vocabulary. Obviously, there is more vocabulary, right? But let's play with this one. So um, we have the verb to be right here, the structure, and as I told you before, I was expected to show students how to create affirmative sentences, and then they have to provide me some examples if they are understanding. I mean, so in this case, I'm gonna see if I'm doing great with the students, and here are the negative and interrogative examples, right? So here is the explanation for the students. So obviously this is going to be worked in the classroom. Um, and then we got to the presentation, to the practice stage, sorry. So let me see, just give me 1 minute. And then we have the practice stage. The first thing we're going to do, it is listen to an audio, right? About people on answering to phone calls, right? Answering to phone calls and talking about things. The vocabulary that they have in the book is going to be used, but in present continuous. And then um, the activity number two is going to be about organizing ideas. I mean, the different ideas. I mean, there is some sentences but are not organized, so they need to organize the sentences. For example, there is a big, there are mistakes and things like that, so they need to organize the sentence. And the activity number three, it is about making an agenda about their plans. I mean, what are they planning to do this week, next week? But they are going to make an agenda with activities. For example, on Friday, do the laundry, visit my grandmother, and go shopping. For example, on Saturday, go to the beach, clean my bedroom, or clean the house, things like this. But they are going to make an agenda with those plans, and at the same time, they are going to get in pairs, right? So they are going to share with their classmates their information, and they're going to be asking each other this question: hey, what are your plans for Monday? Or do you have plans on Saturday or something like this? They are going to be discussing this. And the last activities, it is about practicing the conversation model that is on the book, and then personalize that conversation with their own ideas, right? And with the vocabulary that they have learned before. And then we have the production stage, right? So, but let me show you this. I mean, here is the book. I am going to be showing you the book. All right, here's the book. Well, the first activity, this is the vocabulary, all the vocabulary. Obviously, there is more vocabulary the students have provide, the listening, comprehension, and the grammar practice. We have, let me see, we have these parts, the organizing ideas and the conversation model, right? So there are the activities they are going to do, and let me show you the another one. The another one, it is an agenda. Let me show you the example of the agenda. Here is the agenda. So this is just an example that the students are going to work on their books with their classmates and things. So they need to do an agenda, right? Or activities that they are going to do, but later on in the same day. So yeah, and then they are going to share, right? Hey, what are you doing on Sunday? Go to the beach, visit my mother or my grandmother, and this is what they are going to do, right? Let me stop this, and let's go to the production stage. Here is the production stage. In the production stage, students will make a dialogue. So in this way, I am going to evaluate the I mean the writing skills, because they are going to be writing a dialogue and they are going to read it. I mean to their classmates. At the same time, they are going to get in groups of four. This is the number two, the activity number two. They're going to get in groups of four and make a drama, right? Make a drama about talking about the plans they have for the future. For example, a party, going to the beach, making a homework, but on the future, right? So they need to plan something, and then we have there is the contingency plan in case I forget something. In this case, I have chosen a video of the big going to situation. This video lasts for 10 minutes or 11 minutes. So, but this video is really helpful because the students um, are going to see the situation in real life. I mean, how people use the big going to structure in real life. And then we have the evaluation part. Students understand the vocabulary and are capable to make sentences with the vocabulary that has been provided to them, and the correct use of grammar is evaluated in the activity number two. A student's pronunciation is tested in activity number three, talking about the agenda, right? They're going to be talking. Students are able to discuss their weekly plans, so they're going to be discussing. And a virtual quiz will be made. So here it is, the virtual quiz. So you can see it if you want right there. There's a quiz for students, and in this case, they can do it at the end of the class. And if there is no time, well, I mean, it's going to be homework, right? It is just 10 questions and it is just about selecting. I mean, it is a multiple choice activity, right? So, and finally, here is the checklist, and I think everything is completed. So, but I accept any comments, I accept any feedback from the students, from my boss, my supervisor, or my teachers, my um, you know, for example, from my principal, right? So I am open to comments, and well, but I think this is the best lesson plan that I have created. And talking about speaking, well, speaking it is one of the most important subjects from. I mean, at the time that we had to learn English, right? So yeah, this is it. I hope everything is okay right here, and here is the bibliography. So in this case I have chosen this book, the top notch one, and well, I have worked with that book, and yes, so here it is, my lesson plan. Thank you so much for listening to me, for watching this video. Have a nice day. Thank you.